Have I ever told you I want you to the bone? Have I ever called you when you are all alone? And if I ever forget to tell you how I feel, listen to me now, babe. I want you to the bone. I want you to the bone. Oh, oh. I want you to the bone. Oh, oh. Maybe if you can see what I feel through my bone, ever colder in me, there's your breath is that ground. Maybe I nurture it more by saying how I feel, but I didn't mean it before. I want you to the bone. I want you to take me home. I'm falling. Love me long I'm rolling, losing control, body and soul. Until for sure I'm already yours. Walk you down, I'm all in. Hold you tight, you're calling. As I control your body and soul. Until for sure I'm already yours. Will that be alright? Hey, will that be alright? I want you to the bone. Oh, so bad I can't breathe. Oh, I want you to the bone. Of all the ones that back could say, I'm still longing for you. Of all the ones that cried the rain, I'm still waiting on you. Maybe we seek for something that we could never have. Maybe we choose the only love we know we won't accept. And maybe we're taking all the risks for something that is real. Cause maybe the greatest love of all is what the eyes can see. Yeah. Take me home, falling. Love me long, I'm rolling, losing control, body and soul. Until for sure I'm already yours. Walk you down, I'm all in. Hold you tight, you're calling. I'll take control, your body and soul. Until for sure I'm already yours. Would you just take me home? Would you just love me long? Should I keep hoping on? Should I keep hoping on? Could I just take you home? Could I just love you long? Should I keep hoping on? Should I keep hoping on? I want you to the bone. Oh, I want you to the bone. Oh, I want you to the bone. Yes, I want you to the bone. I want you to the bone. I want you to the bone. Habis. Coba kita cari yang lain. Sedang berbuah. Ya, iklan dulu cuy. Tang tang. Dem 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 dem. Dem dem. Oh. Engkau bagai air yang jernih di dalam bekas yang berdebu. Zahirnya kotoran itu terlihat, kesucian terlindung jua. Cinta bukan hanya di mata, cinta hadir di dalam jiwa. Biarlah salah di mata mereka, biar perbedaan terlihat antara kita. Ku harapkan kau kan terima, walau dipandang hina. Namun hakikat cinta kita, kita yang rasa. Suatu hari nanti pastikan bercahaya, pintu akan terbuka, kita langkah bersama. Di situ kita lihat bersinar hakikat, debu jadi permata, hina jadi mulia. Bukan hayalan yang aku berikan, tapi keyakinan yang nyata. Kerana cinta lautan berapi, pasti akan ku renang jua. Ku harapkan kau kan terima, walau dipandang hina. Namun hakikat cinta kita, kita yang rasa. Pastikan bercahaya, pintu akan terbuka. Kita langkah bersama, di situ kita lihat bersinar hakikat. Debu jadi permata, hina jadi mulia. Suatu hari nanti pastikan bercahaya, pintu akan terbuka. Kita langkah bersama, di situ kita lihat bersinar hakikat. Debu jadi permata, hina jadi mulia. Bukan hayalan yang aku berikan, tapi keyakinan yang nyata. Karena cinta lautan berapi, pasti akan ku renang jua. Habis. Apa ya? Cantik. Itu aja.
Hebatnya, Nippon Elastex 3-in-1. Cat dasar, cat anti bocor, cat akhir dalam satu kaleng. Dengan teknologi Hydroflex meresap ke dalam pori-pori tembok. Nippon Elastex bikin rumah tahan bocor lebih dari 5 tahun.
Cantik, ingin rasa hati berbisik untuk melepas keresahan dirimu. Oh cantik, bukan ku ingin mengganggumu, tapi apa arti merindu selalu. Walau mentari terbit di utara, hatiku hanya untukmu. Ada hati yang termanis dan penuh cinta, tentu saja kan ku balas seisi jiwa. Tiada lagi yang ganggu kita. Ini kesungguhan, sungguh aku sayang kamu. Cantik, bukan ku ingin mengganggumu, tapi apa arti merindu selalu. Walau mentari terbit di utara, hatiku hanya untukmu. Ada hati yang termanis dan penuh cinta, tentu saja kan ku balas seisi jiwa. Tiada lagi yang ganggu kita. Ini kesungguhan, sungguh aku sayang kamu. Ku berjalan menyusuri cinta yang abadi untuk selamanya. Hey ya ya ya, hey ya ya ya, hey ya. Ada hati termanis dan penuh cinta, tentu saja kan ku balas seisi jiwa. Tiada lagi yang ganggu kita. Ini kesungguhan, sungguh aku sayang kamu. Oh tentu saja kan ku balas seisi jiwa. Tiada lagi yang ganggu kita. Ini kesungguhan, sungguh aku sayang kamu. Ini kesungguhan, sungguh aku sayang kamu. Wah, kateh. Iklan mulu. Kada YouTube Premium. Betapa bahagianya hatiku saat ku duduk berdua denganmu, berjalan bersamamu, menarilah denganku. Namun bila hari ini adalah yang terakhir, namun ku tetap bahagia. Selalu ku syukuri, begitulah adanya. Namun bila kau ingin sendiri, cepat-cepatlah sampaikan kepadaku agar ku tak berharap dan buat kau bersedih. Bila nanti saatnya telah tiba, ku ingin kau menjadi istriku, berjalan bersamamu dalam terik dan hujan, berlarian ke sana kemari dan tertawa. Namun bila saat berpisah telah tiba, izinkan ku menjaga dirimu, berdua menikmati pelukan di ujung waktu. Sudilah kau temani diriku. Namun bila kau ingin sendiri, cepat-cepatlah sampaikan kepadaku agar ku tak berharap dan buat kau bersedih. Bila nanti saatnya telah tiba, ku ingin kau menjadi istriku, berjalan bersamamu dalam terik dan hujan, berlarian ke sana kemari dan tertawa. Namun bila saat berpisah telah tiba, izinkan ku menjaga dirimu, berdua menikmati pelukan di ujung waktu. Sudilah kau temani diriku, Sudilah kau menjadi temanku, sudilah kau menjadi istriku. Habis. Bentar lagi azan. Main dulu ah. Apa ya? Ngantuk.
Kunjungi Milo Aktif Academy untuk mulai langkah sehat dan aktifmu dari rumah.
Dari rumah.
Rasanya kayak punya teknologi masa depan dalam genggaman tangan. Ada 5G connectivity untuk internet
Dalam kah? Waduh.
We were really starting to worry, and then of course we start to look on the maps and things like that, and we see that we'd sort of lost the tracking around where the lake area was. So then you really start to fear the worst.
It wasn't a regular off the road. This was something very, very serious indeed. And then when we found out that they were okay, and when we knew what had happened, it was jaw-dropping in terms of a story.
Somewhere earlier in the stage, it had obviously hit a rock or something, bent part on the suspension. Then when it braked to turn into the thing, that part of the suspension broke. So it's the same situation. It wasn't as though he made a mistake at that point where he went in the lake, that he had a mechanical part break. So when you see the footage and you see what happened, I mean, to be honest, it made it even worse to think that, okay, they'd survived, but the way that they managed to get out of the car and then you see the car just disappear was an incredible feeling.
I think for me what was even more surprising was then interviewing them when they got back to service. I said to them, what happens now? Do you get on a flight, you go home, forget all about this? And Oit just said in Oit Tanak fashion, direct and deadpan, no, we get the car out of the water and we start again. Which I started laughing because I honestly thought he was joking. But how on earth can they get the car out of a lake and then rally again? And he said, no, I'm completely serious. We go again. We get back in the car, we go again. And that's exactly what they did.
For sure, it's a day which has some history and always, let's say, some pictures in some books. So it's something that has happened, and for sure it was quite on the limit. So probably that makes it a bit special. The most important that moment was from Malcolm's side to get me back into the car, to not leave Mexico with just a bad emotion, and it would have been just more difficult to get into the car next time.
Well, I'll be honest, I didn't have as much experience back in those days of what was possible and what wasn't possible, and as soon as we'd kind of dealt with the situation and got everything back under control and got the car back, the assumption was you put the car in the air freight and send it home. But Malcolm was pretty strict from the start. That his thought was that we were going to fix it and have it go to carry on, which I think none of us at the time even considered that was a possibility. But if the boss tells you that's what we're doing, then that's what we'll try. A lot of the things you'll have seen on the television is the mechanics that weren't able to do that because there was already enough people working on the engine and electronics were then taking the water out of the car, getting the seats out, everything like that to try and dry the interior. I mean, as soon as the electronics and engine were under control, the rest of the time was spent basically drying everything out as much as we can, because we knew it would be down to electronics would be the key. You know, an engine is a mechanical component. If you get the water out and there's nothing damaged, there's no reason why it shouldn't start again. And I think because it was such a different and special moment, I don't think there was one member of the team that disappeared at that point. Sometimes you get, by the time people's cars are finished and gone back to park, so many people will go back to the hotel. But when that was happening, I don't think there was one member of the team that wasn't there, because they all wanted to see what was going on, how they could help, what we could do. And some of us were probably getting in the way more than we were helping, but I think it was the team spirit of trying to get things going again.
The energy during that service was incredible from all the mechanics, but from the mechanics from other teams who came to show their support. They were sitting outside the service area from Citroën, from Volkswagen. They were just sat there watching, trying to lend their support to the team as they motored on and kept going through the 3 hours. And then when it came to the crux time, when they were ready to see if the engine would fire up, that's when it fell completely silent at M Sport. And you know, the first attempt to fire the car, and it juddered, nothing. Second attempt, nothing. And I think it was about attempt 4 or 5, and the engine came to life. And the reaction was incredible, the cheers, just, I think the incredible sense of satisfaction that this, what seemed like an incredible job, a ridiculous job to get the car ready to go, it was actually going to work.
As stupid as it sounded and crazy as it sounded at the time, I think when we all reflected on it, it was something that was possible, and it would just be that most people would say no. But Malcolm said, yes, let's try it. And we still talk about that memory to this day.
For me, that really defines what rallying is. It's true team spirit, camaraderie, everyone pulling together in what's a very difficult circumstance to make a truly incredible rally story.
I think the boys had a well-earned beer after that evening, but it was, again, like I say, a really good story that will forever live in WRC history.
As we all know, Oich got back into the car and was competing again before the weekend was over. 4 years later, he'd be crowned world champion while driving for Toyota Gazoo Racing. The first people to congratulate him, the man who got him back into the car in Mexico in 2015. The famous car from that day also continued competing, indeed driven to 4th by Tanak just a few weeks later at Rally Argentina. It would finally be retired with a record 39 WRC starts to its name. However, there was one thing from that day which wouldn't be seen again.
We retired it. I do remember now, it was a little yellow duck that it was Oit's lucky charm, according to him. So we retired it afterwards, and then we even got some more, I think, on another rally. And when it was one of the rallies where it was so wet, and we put these 3 little ducks just to remind Oit of what they were like in the service park when he came into service.
Watch WRC Plus on all devices.
Mantap.